Hello everybody. So today we are going to discuss first unit of today's school year in your 8th grade math class. And saying that I would like you to follow me, you are supposed to write down all the information that is provided for you on the screen. And if you need to pause the video, if you feel like I'm going too fast or too slow, you have the power to control the button, and you can always stop the video, rewatch it from the beginning, or move forward if you need to. I think that's the awesome tool by using video lessons, that you can control the lesson and the learning process. So, first one, level 1 or mission 1 will be we'll be talking about integers and rational numbers. How do we evaluate expressions and how do we use PEMDAS rules? So on the screen you see we have a few examples: 3x, 5x plus 1, 3 divided by c, negative m over 4, 3b over 4, and negative 6p plus 5. All of those are what we call expressions. And sometimes you will hear me, or actually many times through the school year, I will talk about equations, and I want to point out right now what's the difference between expressions and equations. So when we have expressions and we need to simplify them, you will see variables and numbers, and we will use some order of operations. In this case we have multiplication, addition, division, 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 and addition. Now, when we talk about equations, you may see all of those combined together, but also we will have an equal sign between. So the equal sign of given example shows you that we're talking about equation. And another important thing is, on the left side I have practice assignment, and the practice assignment after you're done with the lesson will be always labeled right here for you, so you will know when you finish your notes what type of practice assignment you have to do as additional learning path that we're going to follow. Alright, well, let's begin now with the actual examples. First example, on the paper we have number 1, and it says evaluate the expression. So I have given two expressions and I want to evaluate them, and the evaluation will be follow. P plus 5, solve that expression or simplify the expression when p is equal to 3. So when you have given variable equals to a number, what you need to do is just to substitute this variable with number 3 plus 5, and then you will be able to evaluate. So what is 3 plus 5? 3 plus 5 is 8, and that will be the final answer here. Next one, we have 2 over 8 times k. So I'm gonna substitute k with number 8, but first I will begin with the fraction 2 over 8 times 8. Excuse me. So 2 over 8 times 8 is equal to 16 over 8, which is just 2. Next example, we're supposed to write the power as a product with the given examples. So 7 to the 5th, in order to write this down or break it down as a product, which means multiplication, we need to write down 5 times number 7 multiplying by itself. So I'm going to put 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. So the exponent shows us how many times we need to multiply this base number by itself. So for the next example, we're going to multiply 2 by itself 4 times, because the exponent says 4. So we will write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And the last one will be 3 to the second, so we have just 3 times 3. From here you can definitely multiply those two and write down the, what the actual answer is. 3 to the second, 3 squared, this is 9. Alright, so at this point, if you need to pause the video, please finish your notes, pause it, finish your notes, and then you can move to the next one. So next thing, what I want you to write down first will be on the left side of your notes. I want you to write PEMDAS. And we also will point what will be the symbols that stays for those letters. So P stays for parentheses, E stays for exponent, that's why I have B to the second here to remind you the exponent. M will be multiplication, D will be division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. Another thing that I want you to remember here is that multiplication and division, they go together, and addition and subtraction also goes together. And I will explain just in a second what I mean by going together. What do we do when we have those cases? So the example we are going to work with is example number 3. And it says, name the operation that would be performed first. So now we have given a few examples and we want to decide which operation we're going to do first. And I will circle the one that we are supposed to start with. So in this case we have subtraction and division. Well, subtraction, if you look at PEMDAS rule, is way down than division. Division is first. So definitely we will divide the numbers first. That will be my first step. Then we have another one, 36 divided by 2 times 1. So this is multiplication times 1. In this case we have those two together, multiplication and division. So now what we're gonna do, instead of starting with multiplication and then division, we will start from left to right. So we're gonna solve the first two problems for numbers first, and then we'll finish the problem. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. I'm gonna copy times 1, and then we'll multiply those two, which will give me 18 as a final answer. Next example is 36 divided by, inside the parentheses we have 10 minus 4. Well, based on PEMDAS, parentheses are always first, and we would like to do that. So will be 36 divided by, and 10 minus 4 is 6. So the final step, 36 divided by 6, will give me 6 as a final answer. Okay, next example, 4 times, so again this is a multiplication, 3 minus 1, this whole thing to the second power. Now notice that the second power is outside of the parentheses, so we need to calculate what is inside first. And I'm gonna write 4 times, inside the parentheses 3 minus 1 is 2 to the power of 2. So I simplified that first. Now I will need to simplify the whole exponent part, because after the parentheses we have exponent. So that will be equal to 4 times 4, because 2 to the second is 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. Final answer here. Great. So now we're gonna look fourth example. It says evaluate the following expressions. So let's take a look of those expressions. We have 13 minus 3 plus 1. Here is another case in which we have addition and subtraction together from the PEMDAS rules. Well, again, just like multiplication and division, when you have case like that, you're gonna start from left to right. So I will begin with the first two numbers. 13 minus 3 is 10, and then plus 1. And 10 plus 1 will give me 11. Final answer. Next example, we have 2 plus 4 square. Exponent will be before addition. So what we're gonna do, we will say 2 plus 4 square is 16. And 2 plus 16 will give me 18. Final answer. Next example, 3 square minus 4 times 4. So again, exponent first, 3 square is 9 minus 4 times 4. 4 times 4 will be next step, multiplication before subtraction. So we'll say 9 minus 16, and 9 minus 16 will give us 7 as a final answer. Negative 7, actually, because 16 is the larger number with negative sign. Negative 7 will be the final answer here. Alright, well, again, just as a reminder, please make sure you pause the video before you move to the next step. Make sure you have all notes written down, and I will continue with the video. Another examples that we have given are 5 times 3a squared. Solve the expression when a equals 2. So if we know that the variable equals some number, we just need to substitute that variable with the number and do the calculations. So it will be 5 times 3. A will be times 2 and then to the second power. Now if we have 3a squared, this means multiplication. Even though you don't see it, the hidden sign here is a multiplication. So now the exponent goes first, so we have 5 times 3 times 2 to the second is 4. And then 2 multiplication operations, so we start from left to right, multiply those two first. 5 times 3 is 15, times 4, we get 60 as a final answer. Next one is c to the second divided by 4 minus 12. c is 4, so I will begin with 4 to the second divided by 4 minus 12. Well, 4 to the second is 16, then we have divided by 4 minus 12. 16 divided by 4 is 4 minus 12, final answer negative 8. Next example, 3y squared minus 1. So instead of y, we will put number 2 here. So it will be 3 times 2 to the second minus 1. Now I'm gonna write down the exponent. So it will be 3 times 4 minus 1. Multiplication and subtraction. Multiplication will be the first operation, which is 12 minus 1, final answer 11. Last example from those type with the variables, we have 30 minus 16 divided by r. So let's go ahead again and substitute r with 4. So 30 minus 16 over 4. Now look at carefully. This is a subtraction, but this division line here, that's the fraction line, it's division. So if you think again about PEMDAS, it means we have to divide those two first and then we will do the subtraction. So 30 minus 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 30 minus 4, 26 will be the final answer here. Alright, and one last example. This is a real life example that has involved some positive, negative numbers, integers, and also you will see how they could be used combined as expressions, so we can find what we're looking for. You're buying yarn for a knitting project. One skein of yarn in a basic color costs $3.99, and one in a fashion color costs $5.99. The total cost of buying 5 skeins of basic and 2 skeins of fashion are given by this expression. So we have given the expression already. Now the question is, what will be the total cost? Some of you probably will think about, oh, I'm not sure if I want to write down all the words. So let's go ahead and write down or highlight what is the most important thing, what is given for us. So it's given that the skein of basic color yarn is $3.99. We also know that this fashion color costs $5.99. And we know that the person that needs for this project buy 5 skeins of basic and 2 skeins of fashion. With that saying, we know that the expression expresses 5 skeins of basic yarn of price of $3.99 plus 2 skeins of fashion yarn of price of $5.99. So this one stays for the dollars amount, and this shows you how many yarns they both. How we gonna find the total cost? We're gonna multiply those two first just by PEMDAS rule, and in this case I'm going to use a calculator so you guys will be able to see quickly. I just need to grab my calculator, so hold on for a second. So here's what we have. We have 5 times 3.99, which is $19.95 plus, and then we will multiply this. 2 times 5.99 equals to 11.98. And the final step will be to add those two, 19.95, and the total amount that we need to spend are $31.93. So that will be the total amount of money we need to spend in order to make the project. So that's all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching the video, and please write down if you have any questions. We can discuss them during class time. Have a great day, everybody.